Today we're talking about primary controls, the steering wheel, the throttle, and the brake. And the throttle can also be called the gas pedal or the accelerator. For those of you driving manual transmissions, you're also going to be working with the clutch. Now, if you don't have any previous experience driving, you didn't grow up driving the lawn tractor, cutting the grass at home, you didn't grow up on a farm driving equipment and those types of things, or you haven't ridden a bicycle in traffic, this is the place to start. If you drop me a question down in a comment asking me how much to turn the steering wheel when you go around a corner, or your corners are too wide and those types of things, these are the exercises that you need to do. These are the fundamentals of learning how to drive. These are comparable to drills in sports, and they're comparable to scales in music when learning how to sing or play a musical instrument. These are the fundamentals of learning how to drive and will make you a better driver overall and accelerate your learning in preparation for taking a road test and earning your license. So do these. And for a handout of the exercises done here, click the link down in the description. And as well, when you get about halfway through your driving lessons, come back to these fundamentals and practice them again to get mastery of the primary controls in preparation for your road test and earning your license. So without further ado, let's get started. First thing you want to do is just drive straight forward and backwards. So set your cones up at a fair distance apart, probably 6 or 8 car lengths, and then just drive forward. So we're just going to drive down the parking lot. Seatbelt on, both hands on the steering wheel, and we drive up to the pylon and just a little bit of throttle, and then just brake so you can see the top of the cone. Don't worry about driving into it. That's what the next lesson is for. So reversing, looking out the back, hand over the back of this, looking out the back window, and driving straight back to the other pylon. And then just a little bit of throttle, see what it feels like, push down, let up, push down, okay? And then come to a stop. And do that 3 or 4 times. You can see I'm not in line, so I'm moving the steering wheel, okay? So just back and forth a couple of times. Get used to that, get used to reversing. Into reverse, looking out the back window, because you have to do that for the purposes of a road test. And again, I'll put the videos down in the description about what you need to do to pass your road test. Okay, so we've done that a couple of times. Now we're going to work the steering wheel a little bit. And what I want you to do is just go down and drive around the one pylon and figure out what the steering radius is on the vehicle. So we just turn the steering wheel hand over hand. For most of you, some of you are going to be hand to hand, but for most of you, it's going to be hand over hand. All right, hand over hand, and we're just working the steering wheel here, a little bit of throttle. You can let that push down on the throttle a little bit and then let up on the throttle and just see what the response is on the throttle. Driving around in circles here. Okay, and it's not that complicated. Just get used to the steering wheel. Get used to the throttle, throttle up a little bit, drive around the other cone up here, and then let off the throttle. All right. Now, next one, I want you to get used to the brake. So, race down the parking lot, give it some throttle, and then push the brake in really hard and see how it feels. Okay, get used to that. So, another one, up the parking lot, hit the brake, and see how it responds. You can see I'm throttling up quite a bit on the tachometer there. It's going up to 4,000 RPM. Okay, so now you've steering wheel, the throttle, and the brake, and I would suggest you work on that for half an hour to an hour, and you get really comfortable with what the what the primary controls are doing. You don't really have to worry about hitting the pylons or those types of things. And then the last exercises we're going to do figure eights, my favorite. For figure eights, you're going to need the pylons about 3 car lengths apart, and as you get better and better at it, you can move the pylons closer together. Essentially, you just drive forward across the pylons like this, and then come back around the other way. And remember, the slower you go, the sharper the vehicle turns. So know that when you're trying to go around the pylons. As you get the pylons closer together, you're going to have to go slower in order for the vehicle to turn, okay? It's when you see cars in the parking lot and they're backing up and you watch the driver and it's a really tight space, they're close to the other vehicles and they go the car doesn't get smaller. That's not the car getting smaller mechanism. What happens is they suck in their breath, they let their foot off the throttle, the car slows down and it actually turns sharper. So that's what happens. So nice and slow, Do that a few times, forward figure eights. When you get comfortable with doing forward figure eights, and the fun part begins. You're gonna do reverse figure eights. And this is gonna mess with your head a little bit as well. It'll also make you a much better driver. So, nice figure eights. And the other thing is don't, you know, you're gonna be looking around. You're gonna be moving your head around a lot as you're doing this exercise. And it's really good for combining the primary controls, combining the steering wheel, combining the throttle, and if you're working in a manual transmission, it's also combining the clutch as well. A little bit of brake, because we're going downhill here, so we're going to have to brake a little bit. So those are the exercises that I want you to do. Straight back and forth, work the throttle, work the brake, be aggressive with the throttle and the brake, and then go around in circles and get used to turning the vehicle. Feel what the steering wheel does. Throttle up a little bit in the corners as well and feel it break loose a little bit. What is called oversteering or understeering as well when you're going around corners. And then finally do your figure eights, forward figure eights and reverse figure eights. And you can see I'm doing reverse figure eights here and I'm not going very fast. And this exercises, these three exercises, straightforward, around in circles, and forward and reverse figure eights, is going to teach you mastery of the primary controls. And you need to have mastery of the primary controls before you head out into traffic. Please do not head out into traffic if you don't know how far to turn the steering wheel when you're making a right or left turn, because you are not ready to be in traffic yet. You need to do this by yourself without any other vehicles around, so you can focus just on doing this. Because you can see I'm a veteran driver and I can talk to you at the same time while I'm driving around a parking lot doing reverse figure eight. I've got enough experience that I'm able to do that. But you as a new driver, a learning driver, are going to have to give your complete concentration to this. So do that. For another video, click here. And remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day. Bye now.